Alright guys, here's a little groundwork session with Charlie. So today in this video we are working on some sideways over a pole. So this is probably the second time that I actually asked him to do this. So the first step that he made in the right direction, I immediately did positive reinforcement to be like, what I like to do is immediately mark the right answer. That doesn't mean that for me I don't praise him every single time, but I like to mark exactly what I'm looking for, and it kind of gets there with the wheels turning a little bit. So of course he kind of steps over the pole, so I was like, that's all right. And we repositioned and tried again. So like I said, I try to do positive reinforcement right from the get-go when they get the right move, so then we can build on that. So I chose to wait on the positive reinforcement the second time until he got all the way over. So it kind of gives him that drive to keep trying. Like, how did I get that treat before? So again, he steps over and I'm like, that's fine. Let's reposition. Let's do it again. And then this time is where he gets it. And we had been doing a lot of sideways without the pole. So this was, I think this is the first session we had done with the pole, but I had asked him to go over it once before I had started recording. And you can see him really trying to think, like, what do I need to do with my feet? Yes. Good, buddy. And then right there, he did it. Immediate treat. Good boy. Good job trying. So the hope is, with Charlie, so we did get accepted into the 2021 thoroughbred makeover. So we are hoping to do freestyle, and I'm thinking competitive trail. So a lot of things with competitive trails, like precision over obstacles. So he might be asked to sideways over multiple poles, and you get points for not hitting them and not stepping over them. So I like to start all of my training on the ground so I can be really precise and really help them understand what it is that I'm looking for. And it's easier for me to see what they're doing also when I'm on the ground. So you can see sometimes I'll use my crop to touch him on the chest to be like, nope, don't go forward. That time he did it absolutely perfectly and got a treat. Awesome job. One thing I really like about Charlie is he's a thinker. So in this direction, this is actually the first time I had asked for him to sideways over the pole in this direction. And you'll see that his wheels were turning and instantly he got it. And I think it's because he's food motivated. So he's always trying to figure out, like, how do I get that treat? Like, what do I got to do to get it? So since it was the first time that he was doing it in this direction, he made that first nice sideways step over the pole. I give him a treat and I'm like, okay, let's build on that. You can see he gets a little stuck. He's a little stuck in this direction.
Yes, good.
Because he knows that I don't want him to step over it, but he's going to figure out how to move his feet sideways without stepping over it. So where he got stuck, I was like, it's all right. So once he made that good step sideways, I gave him a treat. So here he hit it at the end, but that's okay. I'm not going to get real picky. Especially since this is really the first session that we've done this. I'm not going to absolutely nitpick everything, tear it apart. Because otherwise they really don't build confidence that way. You want to make them feel right, not constantly say, no, 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 that's not right. Because then they stop trying. And you don't want that. Once they stop trying, you lose everything. You want to keep that horse trying to find the right answer. So he steps over it, and I'm like, all right, that's fine. Try again. So sometimes I will reposition them if they've only taken like a small step over the pole, just because I do want them to learn how to correct themselves and reposition and finish the object, because you can't always start over. But at the same time, sometimes I am looking for them to do it correctly all the way through. So that was a really good session with the sideways over the pole. So then I decided to do some desensitizing, because again, you never know what you're going to hit in competitive trail. So my goal for him is to be super solid. Again, at the horse park, it could be raining. People might have umbrellas. You never know. So I know there was one show when I had a Percheron mare, and we were at a dressage show, and it was rainy, and everybody had umbrellas, and she hadn't seen one. And that's definitely where I learned to always desensitize to umbrellas. So he was really chill, actually. Again, the umbrella wasn't like a super bright color, so I think I may bring one that's a little bit more bright. He wasn't worried about the noise. He didn't care about opening and closing, but you will see in a minute here, which was interesting, is that he didn't like it touching his back leg. It didn't kick out at it or anything, but you'll see, he'll move away. But he didn't really care about it opening, closing. I was able to raise it over his head and everything, but something about it touching his back leg he wasn't super thrilled about. So he was like, nope. It was kind of like by his hock area, which I found was interesting. So I just kind of casually follow him and I pet him. So I say pet him, but I started rubbing it on his neck and his shoulder where he was comfortable, and I just slowly move it to where his threshold was, and just try to kind of bring it down past that. I don't attack him. I just casually go, okay, that's fine. We'll go back up here and we'll casually bring it back down. I don't want to stimulate them. So I go back to where they're comfortable and slowly move it to where they're not. And I let him sniff it too. And I'm like, here, this is what I'm trying to touch you with. Like, don't worry about it. It's not going to hurt you. Let him investigate it. And then we kind of go back to what we were doing. Just letting him sniff it. He really isn't worried about it. So it's just that one spot. So I kind of take a minute by his hip and then casually go down. And the second he let me do it, I retreated. I gave him a treat. Good job. That's all I was looking for. And again, he is food motivated, so that got his wheels turning. The second I gave him that treat, he was like, wait, I get a treat just for you touching me with that thing? After that, the umbrella touching his back legs, no problem at all. That's one thing I really like about this horse. He's smart, he is a quick learner, and he's got a good head on his shoulders. So I'm pretty excited about him. I don't think he's going to be a jumper because he honestly spends more time stopping at them than going over them. But honestly, I think he's going to be an incredible competitive trail horse, and I'm really excited to make a freestyle routine with him. He is honestly just a blast and has a big personality. So another thing I wanted to do is just kind of, the way you actually carry an umbrella, sort of, and just walk around with it. And again, he followed me. He didn't care. His head is low. You can see his demeanor is just super chill. He's just a fun horse. Anyways, guys, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye!